What's good, Steelers Nation? Little live stream post game recap following the Steelers Lions preseason finale ended in a 24-17 loss. Still think this was a much more encouraging game. So, wanted to jump on here. It's been a while since I went live on the channel. So, give me a good chance to interact with you guys, but also, kind of get my thoughts on this game. And, Detroit didn't play their starters on either side of the ball. So, Pittsburgh's offense did what they were supposed to do. But I thought still it was encouraging to see them go out. Two straight touchdown drives to open the game. I thought finally showing some signs of life offensively, which is really, the number one thing that I wanted to see coming out of this one. So I feel pretty good about that. But I just want to kind of go through the game itself, winners, losers, all that good stuff, and then just some general thoughts about, where the roster stands right now, as well as, some questions that I feel like are still lingering as we head into the regular season. Kind of wait for some more people to jump in here on this beautiful Saturday. Probably won't stay on here too long, but I will take any questions that you all might have kind of in the meantime. But overall, man, I'm not too upset about that one. I mean, I feel like open the game with two straight touchdown drives. Russ only threw two passes, one of which was really nice. I thought the pass protection looked a lot better than it has in recent weeks, especially last week. But even on that like 3rd and 11 conversion to Pickens, he had all day back there to really clean pocket, which is what you want to see, especially after last week. Delivered a really nice ball to Pickens. I wish we would have gotten a good replay. That I don't know what the deal was with the broadcast, man, but I feel like we didn't get good. we didn't get good replays all day. But it felt like Pickens created a lot of separation there too. I'm interested to see what that route looks like on the all 22. But really impressive drive. One thing that I wanted to see too was like Cordell Patterson. With Jalen Warren kind of banged up, I didn't want to see a ton of Najee Harris. Wanted to kind of preserve him for the regular season. But Patterson, he looked pretty solid. I mean, had a really nice explosive touchdown run on that mid zone concept in the near the red zone. Pretty much went in there untouched. I mean, I thought Sam Alo's block on that play was excellent. But, it looked like a first team offense going up against a second string defense. But, I mean, that is what it is. It's progress. And I feel like it gives everybody at least a little bit of a sigh of relief, given how this offense has kind of looked throughout the preseason, especially like the first and second team. Right after that, only one drive for Russ. I thought we may get a couple more. I didn't think he played nearly as much as he did last week, but still didn't really see him move around a lot. That's still a little bit of a question mark for me. But I guess we'll just have to see what happens here in 2 weeks. After that, I think Justin had 3 drives. First drive was like, I think 6 plays, like 35 yards for him. I thought that Justin, like my main takeaway this week was I thought he looked a lot more decisive, just in terms of like getting the ball out. I thought on the play action rollouts, him getting out of the pocket, he looked like he knew where the ball needed to go. Also, like I couldn't believe my eyes, man. We got an anticipatory throw over the middle off play action. Like, I mean, where was that last week? I've been, dying to see that stuff, but still some familiar things too, like his athleticism. He picked up that first down on that 3rd and short ish zone read concept. We saw a little quarterback sweep in the red zone. We also saw another zone read. He ended up drawing the edge defender up, took one with him, and then which led to an easy touchdown run. I think that was P. Ryan on that one near the goal line. But I thought it was a solid performance by Justin. The snap, that would look like it was too early. I don't know whether Frazier got a key, for him to snap the ball or what from the guard. That kind of sucked because it ruined the drive. But I mean, overall, I thought it was a better performance for both the quarterbacks. Really small sample size, like I said, 1 drive for Russ, 3 for Justin, but much better than it looked like last week. So I feel pretty good about that. I personally didn't want to see 2.5 quarters of Kyle Allen, but that's what we got. So it is what it is. Yeah. All right. So we got a bunch of people in here. Like I said, I will kind of like run through like kind of my game recap. And then, I'll answer any questions that you guys might have. I'll kind of start going through the chat once I'm kind of done with that. If y'all could, I see we got like 50 something people in here already. Y'all are quick with it, man. Appreciate you guys tapping in with me. We got a lot to talk about. So if y'all could just drop me a like on the video, that definitely helps me out a lot. I really appreciate that. But let's kind of talk about some other like kind of winners of the day. Nick Herbig just looks, honestly, I think my main conclusion with Herbig is like he's just simply too good right now to be playing up against like backup offensive tackles. I mean, he's looked phenomenal. We did the film room on the channel. I've talked about him, I feel like ad nauseum really over the offseason, and just how excited I am about the leap that I feel like he can take in year two. I'm excited about the increased snap count. I think he looks a little bit stronger. I think we've seen him do some different things through the first 2 weeks. Today was like more of the same in terms of like what we're used to, like him getting off the rock. That second sack, the first one was like a cleanup. Again, Ogunjobi being a little disruptive in the backfield, which was really nice. But the second sack, man, that cross chop, disgusting. Like that tackle had absolutely no shot. Forces the fumble. I mean, Herbig looks like a dude, man. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they've got to find creative ways to get him on the field, especially at pass rush situations. So that's just one of those things, man, where I'm excited about, all the possibilities that they're going to have at their disposal with this edge group. Really do feel like it's an embarrassment of riches. Some other things I mentioned, the first quarter offense. I'm just really excited about them going down and putting the ball in the end zone a couple times. I thought Desiree Patrick, had another solid game. I mean, listen, I think, everybody's concerned about the wide receiver room, myself included. I am of the opinion that they really do need to try to go out and get a playmaker. If they can't get a playmaker, we absolutely have to. I mean, we got to get somebody in there. At least take a shot on somebody, waiver wires, whatever. But Fitzpatrick's had an explosive play every single time, every single game in the preseason, right? Like he's had a gain of over 20 yards in every single one of these games, which I think is encouraging. I mean, that just is that's exactly what you want to see. And then you factor in the fact that he's contributing on special teams. He's also like blocking his tail off in the run game, which is something that I really appreciate, especially as you get down to like the depth pieces on your roster. I don't know if it's going to be enough for him to make the 53-man roster. I think as it stands today, like he's probably who I would like to see at wide receiver 5, just because I think he's got a little bit different of a skill set. He's a little bit bigger, special teams contributions. I like some of the things that he can do. Now, again, I would absolutely love for them to get someone else off a different roster, whether that's plucking one of the Green Bay receivers, depending on who they keep. I'm still looking out at Houston's depth chart, all that stuff. But those are kind of teams that I would kind of look for. Who knows what's going to happen with the other situation in San Francisco? I mean, I think my guess, your guess is as good as anybody's at this point. Seems like the world's longest staring contest. But I still think they need playmaking help. But I think that Fitzpatrick has looked about like you want a guy that's trying to make the roster to look. So credit to him for sure. This is a good shout. Again, I'm gonna get to everybody's questions and stuff. But that's tough. I didn't see. I know Trice got hurt. I was just looking at my text from Alan, our Steelers Now beat reporter. Does a great job. Injuries that I think that he noted was Trice. It looks someone saying that it's a groin in the injury or in the comments. Welshoff, he had 2 sacks today. I thought he looked good. Kyron Johnson, like the way that he's been getting off the ball in the preseason has been really popping to me on tape. And then Ryan Watts had a really scary moment as the game was kind of drawing to its conclusion at the very end there. Luckily, he was able to walk off the field, so that was good to see. I don't know if any of those are significant. I think that the Trice injury could be extremely bad just because we can kind of segue that into some of the concerns that I have, not just from this game, but really just kind of expanded on some of these things as it pertains to, heading into the regular season. What's the Steelers playing at slot cornerback right now? Does anybody know? I'm a little bit, I don't know. It's funny. I was recording a video earlier today that's going to be released on Monday. More on that kind of towards the end. But I think it's kind of strange that it just seems like no one's really concerned about the slot cornerback spot. But it's a little bit concerning to me when, Beanie Bishops, who's run with the ones quite a bit this summer, is playing into the fourth quarter of a preseason game. That's not typical of what you think of when you see your starters on the depth chart or whatever. A little bit worried about that. And then Thomas Graham, even, I thought he played in the first half today. I thought he had probably his worst game in the preseason. So, he whiffed on a tackle on the open field. I also thought that, he was the nearest player in coverage. I'd have to go back and watch the all 22. He was the nearest player in coverage on that explosive pass play over the middle. So I don't know what the plan is at slot. I mean, the Steelers are going to be in base more than most teams, but at the same time, like this is a player or a position that you're going to need on the field quite a bit. I mean, I get that they're trying to maybe piece it together on the cheap. You don't want to make a significant investment there. They're going to play some big nickel with Elliott down in the slot. We know Minka has that versatility as well, but yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about what the plan is there, especially because like no one really popped for me enough to feel comfortable about it in the preseason. So that's the spot. I mean, I think that especially as it relates to like Trice, I don't know anything about the injury. I don't know how it happened. I don't know if it's severe, minor, whatever. I couldn't really tell you. But I think like that this goes back to what we've talked about with Trice. Like I really like Trice's game. He has not shown the ability to stay healthy. It just is what it is. Like I think he's talented enough to be like the top backup on the boundary and potentially play some dime linebacker this year? Sure. I mean, based on what I thought of him coming out of college, there's been nothing in the preseason or that I saw when I was in Latrobe for training camp that tells me he can't do it. It's just like we just don't have enough of a sample size to feel extremely comfortable with it. Add in the fact that he hasn't been a guy that's been consistently available on the field. It's a little bit concerning to me. So if the Trice injury is significant or keeping him out for any length of time, that's definitely worrisome on my part. I don't know if Joey's actually hurt. I know he was in sweats. That could just be they were holding him out. I mean, they held out TJ. I mean, he didn't play at all in the preseason. Neither did Cam. Highsmith's been nursing an injury, but he didn't play. I think Mika played a little bit today. But yeah, Joey's hurt. Yeah, they're in trouble. So they're just a couple guys. I think normally you think of guys that you can't lose to injury. I think the quarterbacks always come to everybody's mind, but I think some of the guys that they cannot afford to lose this year are Pickens and Porter, just because the drop off between them and the guys, and the guys beneath them is significant. They need those guys to take even bigger steps in year 2 and year 3, and they're pretty good players already. So yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, that kind of covers the injury thing. Went over the slot corners. Kick coverage, also a concern. I mean, the Lions had 2 really good kick returns to open the game. I think they started at the 32 and then the 45-yard line the next drive. Punt coverage has been atrocious. We've gotten, unfortunately, because of the lack of, offensive output, we've got a good look at Cameron Johnson's legs. So take that for what you want. But I mean, he's out kicking what the coverage unit is capable of covering at the time being. I mean, they're like the net punting yards has not been what you kind of want in that regard. I mean, could we be looking at a Miles Boykin reunion? I mean, that's kind of his calling card. The Giants have a bunch of dudes over there, I think, that are younger, maybe have some more potential, some more upside on offense. I'm not sure if they're going to keep Boykin or not, but I expect if he's released, that'll probably be a call that they would probably make. We did see what is that? We did see Darius Rush, I think, on the opponent coverage team. Not really sure why he hasn't been doing that more, but it is what it is. Kind of roll into the questions. I mean, there was some other stuff like as the game wore on, like Devery Hamilton really struggling in pass protection. I mean, no team's going to feel good about their 5th offensive tackle. I do think the health of the tackle room is a little bit of a concern. I mean, Dylan Cook is in a boot. Broderick Jones in a brace. He's playing. Cook's not. Torrey Falatanu obviously missed the last 2 preseason games. Does Roman Wilson start the season on IR? I think that's another question that I'm kind of waiting to, get confirmation on. He's missed pretty much the entire summer with that foot injury that he suffered early in training camp, all that stuff. Just some other things. I think Russ being named the starting quarterback is pretty much a formality at this point. I just, I don't even want to phrase it like trying to figure out the best way so that people don't get in their feelings. I don't want to phrase it as Russ necessarily won the job. I just don't think Justin did enough to take it from him. And he was given a ton of opportunities, to be honest with you. And regardless of my opinion on who it should be or who I would like it to be, it just doesn't matter. Like, I just think that that's going to be how it works out. And it just is what it is. But some other tough decisions I feel like they got to make are on the defensive line. Do they keep 6? Do they keep 7 guys? I think Loudermilk as a pass rusher has been kind of intriguing. He's been in the backfield a bunch. I thought his preseason has been very strange to me, though, because I think he's been improved as a pass rusher. He's been getting blown off the ball against the run. Really, the second team defensive line, like him, Adams, Lowry, those guys, felt like they really kind of struggled and when teams to try to run the ball to open the third quarter. So that's a little bit something to worry about a bit. If Hayward or Ogunjobi goes down, what does that unit look like? Can they hold up if they're needed to play significant snaps? But those are kind of the things I'm looking forward to seeing. Let me see. So we got a super chat. My guy, Jalen. Are they hiding Muth or is he not getting open during the preseason? So the first preseason game, they had an explosive play drawn up for him. He was going to be open on a sale concept. I'm like 90% sure. They fumbled the snap. I mean, they didn't really target him much throughout the preseason. It's not something that I would necessarily worry about. I'm honestly like really confused on like what the hold. I mean, I think I know the holdup with his contract extension. I think they're just like waiting on this IU situation to kind of materialize and finalize before they go extending some different guys. Maybe now they kind of turn their attention a little bit towards the guys on the roster, Fryermuth, maybe Cam Hayward, maybe both those guys, and get something done. I don't know what the resolution is going to be like for that, but I'm not worried about Pat just because I see some of the things that they're doing on offense in an effort to like get him and George open. I feel like they're actually like on the front side of the progression more. I feel like they're doing some creative things, even if the results haven't necessarily been there. Um, not worried about Pat at all. So I think it'll be fine. I mean, their main issue, like last week, I mean, I went over this for the channel, but their main issue last week is they keep getting behind the sticks. I mean, they get into third and long. Teams, especially against Russ, are going to play too high, and they're going to force you to check the ball down. I mean, that's just not that's this team's not built to win that way. So I'll kind of start getting through some questions and rolling through as much as I can here. I appreciate everybody tapping in. Looks like we got 120 people in here on a random Saturday afternoon. Y'all are taking time away from your college football Saturday to come chill with me for a little bit. I appreciate it. If y'all could just drop me a like on the video, definitely greatly appreciated. First few drives, absolutely, man. That's what I'm saying. Ray, sorry you missed your first half, man. Definitely watch the first quarter. Rest of the game, whatever. What's good, Austin? How's it going? How's it going? Des looking like wide receiver 4. Yeah, I mean, it really just depends on like what the deal is with Roman to open the season. I think they're gonna have to bring him along slowly in general, just because he's missed so much time. But yeah, FSU Steeler. Hey man, what's good with the Seminoles? I see they were struggling out the gate today. What was the conclusion of that game? Obviously, I didn't get to see the game because I was busy doing this, but definitely looked like it was a struggle there. So the Pruitt play was good to see. Yeah, I mean the anticipatory throw over the middle from Fields. I mean I jumped off my couch. You can ask my wife as my witness. I was really excited to see that. I mean I literally was screaming out, "Hallelujah! Please, thank you, more of that, more of that." So yeah, we did get a little bit of Plumlee at quarterback. He's kind of a little bit of a wild card. He's kind of fun to watch. I don't think Quiz has a shot to make the roster. I think it's between Scotty and Dez if they keep 5 and they don't acquire someone from outside the organization. I will be very, very disappointed if they don't sign somebody from that's not currently on the 50 or 90-man roster. I just will. How could John Mechie fill the receiver group? Is Mechie going to make the roster in Houston? I kind of feel like he's going to. I mean, maybe he's available for trade. I mean, they got 3 studs there. I don't know what the situation is behind those guys. They've got a ton of like NFL caliber players. Noah Brown's missed the preseason. He's been, nursing an injury. He did sign, I think, a 2-year deal though, so I don't know what the deal is with him. Robert Woods, maybe. I mean, Smith loves his guys that can block. Woods has always been an incredible blocker. He's just a little long in the tooth in terms of age. Xavier Hutchinson was a guy that they had some connection with during the pre-draft process. He hasn't really put anything together over his first couple of years. So, I mean, it's those guys are always, guys that I'm going to be keeping my eye on over the next couple of days. Some other names I'd kind of look at, Green Bay, Grant DeBose. I've been watching some tape on him over the last couple of weeks. I like his aggressiveness as a blocker. He made some plays in the first preseason games. It seems like he's having a strong Packers camp. They kind of got too many guys for only so many roster spots. Bo Melton, he played a little bit down the stretch last year for the Packers, but they have a bunch of young guys. So, I mean, I don't know how many they're going to keep, but whoever they don't keep, I would gladly take, as a wide receiver 5 option. So, Juan, let's go for a team that loves O-line versatility. Why is Dan Moore allowed to be a left tackle? Hey, man, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, I think it's worth noting that, like, not everybody can play both sides, especially, like, I mean, there's no point in putting more on the right side if he can't do it, right? At the same time, like, I think that the best course of action is to put either Broderick or Troy on the left side and let those 2 guys be your tackles. I think that that's the way that I kind of saw it coming into the season. Now, I do think that Broderick's play over the preseason, mainly his health, has kind of thrown a little bit of a wrench into that. I think he looked better today, wasn't noticeably bad. Whereas like last week, he was kind of just like torpedoing drives by himself, which is, a significant issue. But um, what's good, Mike? I appreciate that. And I'm from Louisville, by the way, Kentucky. My hottest take about the team is that GP has the best hands in the league. Oh man, best hands? I don't know. Best hands be a little rich for me, but I mean Pickens does have pick. I think Pickens, the best trait of his in my mind is kind of the body control. I think that the way he can contort his body to make difficult catches in the air is pretty special. I do think he has really good hands though. Best in the league though. There's a lot of great receivers in the league, man. But I'm excited about George. I mean, I think if you really look at how they've used him this preseason, I think there's a lot to be really excited about. Putting him at the foot of the stack, putting him in bunches. I think his route utilization looks a little bit different. It's not just like all go balls. They're trying to get him the ball on screens. Just get the ball in his hands, man. I mean, I think, you know, I have significant concerns about what this is going to look like as constructed once they get into the regular season and teams are able to start kind of game planning for the quarterbacks and the offense in general. But I mean, 14 is going to need to be like force fed touches in this offense. Like, and barring a significant acquisition at the receiver position, I mean, he's going to have to be the guy. And I'm excited to see if he's ready for that kind of responsibility. So, I think Pickens is extremely talented. I just want to see like him put it together like consistently, mainly from like an effort perspective. I think that's a big thing. So Paris Campbell doesn't really move the needle for me particularly. Kind of just talked about Mechie. I mean, it's kind of getting late in the game, right? Like it's August 24th. Kind of late to be like looking for a wide receiver too. There's not very many guys available. I mean, maybe a guy like I don't know, man. I'm trying to think about like what other wide receiver 2-ish options are even out there. I don't even know. It doesn't seem like there are any. Goal lines. Good dub. Good dub. Do you think we'll be buyers or sellers during the cut down? And so what positions? I mean, wide receiver corner, 2 spots that they absolutely have to be looking at. The gunner situation kind of factors into both those positions. Sellers, I'm trying to think about like who the Steelers would have to sell. Like who would the Steelers have to sell that somebody would want or pay like a pick for? Potentially maybe one of their defensive linemen that they can't keep. I mean, I don't know. Are they going to keep both Dean Lowry and Isaiah Loudermilk? I think Leal's safe. Logan Lee didn't play today. I don't see that there's a chance for him making a 53-man roster. I also think it's kind of weird. Like they've been playing him at defensive tackle, like nose tackle, since Fehoko got hurt, which has been definitely not how I picture his skill set best being utilized. But that's the way they've done it. Maybe I would anticipate he's probably a guy that'll be on the practice squad. Kind of sucks. Jeremiah Moon banged up. He didn't play today either. But I like what I've seen from Kyron Johnson. I feel really comfortable with him on the edge. But yeah, I mean, I think buyers, cornerback, wide receiver would be the 2 spots I'm looking at. Potentially tackle, depending on like what Cook's injury looks like. And then, the health of Fautanu heading into the regular season, Jones as well. But I mean, guys, you're not going to get a tackle on the free agency wire that you trust at this stage in the game. It's just, we don't even have 64 qualified offensive tackles in the league, to be completely honest with you. How did Broderick look? Broderick was better to me. He was less noticeable, so that's always a good thing. What do you think about Elliott? You're going to have to tell me they got multiple, don't they? I'm assuming you're talking about Deshaun. I think Deshaun's been fine. And Deshaun, like the way that he plays, like he's just really steady. I don't think that he's going to make a ton of splash plays, but he's probably not going to be caught out of position a ton either. So did Peyton Wilson play? I didn't see Peyton Wilson on the field today. Like it's kind of difficult for me because like I'm typing and watching at the same time. But I didn't see him on the field. I saw a little bit more Atlanta Roberts today than I kind of anticipated. But I mean, with Peyton, coming back from, being in concussion protocol, it's not an overly big surprise that he didn't play, I guess. How do we feel about Arthur Smith's play design so far? I mean, the offense looks like I kind of anticipated it looking like. I kind of said this on the preview before the game, but I think there was a lot of guys open last week. I thought quarterback play was an issue last week. Pass protection was an issue last week. But there was guys that um, that were open. So, I mean, obviously in preseason, you're going to be like running your base install stuff. A lot of the concepts look really familiar to me based on what I've seen from his time in Atlanta, from what I saw his time in Tennessee. There are some things that I haven't seen that I'm curious about if we'll see come the regular season. I almost didn't even want them to show that Justin stuff near the goal line. Like I didn't want them to do the quarterback sweep thing today. Like it's kind of a catch-22 for me because it's like I'm excited that Arts at least had the presence of mind, like, hey, we need to do this. But I would have probably kept that one in the bag. Not that teams don't know Justin's a threat to run near the goal line, but I'm excited to see. My main thing is like I've watched so much of Smith's stuff over I've pretty much watched almost every game that he's called. So I'm pretty familiar with the offense. I'm interested to see like what changes or kind of wrinkles he puts in there this year that's going to be, new. I'm hoping it's some combination of like more pullers, a little bit more gap or power. Hope Fields is up the starter. I get you, man. I get you. But I think it's going to be Russ. Oh, man, that's brutal. That's brutal, brother. Sorry. Hopefully the Steelers get a win for you on the opener. Do you see Russ being effective in the RPO game? Russ not a big RPO guy. Despite like a baseball background, he really like he has like kind of like just like one arm slot that he likes to throw from. It's not really his forte. But I mean, there's a lot that you can do with Russ. I've done several videos on like kind of how to build an offense around him, done film rooms on him. So if you're looking for like more detailed response to like how to construct the offense around him, I would check those out. For sure. Did Russ get Canada's old office hurt? He was not a locker room guy in Denver. I mean, I don't know, man. It's tough to feel. It's tough to kind of weave through what's BS and what's not about like his time in Denver. To be honest with you, I will say this: when I watched this film in Denver, especially like last year, even though the numbers were better, it didn't look like he had the trust of the coaching staff. Now that can go two ways. You can say that Sean Payton didn't use him to the best of his ability. And I think that there are some things that I would personally do with Russ that Sean Payton didn't do. And Sean Payton's a smarter guy than I am. Or you could look at it on the flip side and say, like, Sean Payton wasn't doing certain things because he didn't think Russ could do it at this current stage. The truth is probably somewhere in between all of those things. But at the end of the day, I mean, they've got, he's got a good chance to rebound. He's in a situation where, I think the coaching staff has a belief in him. So we're going to see what it looks like, man. I mean, this is the thing too. Like, for Russ, he's a guy who was at one point, I think, on like a Hall of Fame trajectory. He could still get back to that point, I think. But this is probably his last chance to like be a starting quarterback in the league. So, pending something crazy happening. So it's kind of do or die time. I'm excited to see like, what it looks like and if he can play better. I'm optimistic that the Steelers with Russ or with Justin are going to get. I'm cautiously optimistic that they're going to get baseline quarterback play, like somewhere around average quarterback play this year. Now, I don't feel as great about that now as I did maybe a month ago, but I'm still going to stick with that. What's good, Wade? What's good? What's your speculation on why Tanu was never tried at left tackle? Don't know, man. I'd have played him at left tackle personally. But, yeah. Yeah, P-Rod's ran hard, man. The only thing that I could really see with him, I think he's done well when given the opportunity. The only thing that I would think about him is he did not. I think he was at fault for that one of those sacks today in pass pro. Looked like he was late getting to the second level defender that was coming up the middle. But yeah, I kind of wonder if Jalen doesn't play week one, is P. Ryan going to be the guy that they kind of elevate either from the practice squad or maybe they keep him on the 53 for right now? I don't know. Probably not the 53, but maybe somebody that they use as a stopgap until Jalen gets back healthy. Interior O-line. I mean, Sam Allo looked great today. I think Zach Frazier's had a really strong preseason, especially for a rookie. Daniels hasn't been as good as I kind of maybe would have anticipated, given how good of a fit his skill set is for this scheme. But I'm not like worried or anything like that. It's just preseason. I don't really get too worked up about how proven vets perform in new environments. I just don't think he's played like up to his potential yet. Even McCormick, man, I think McCormick's been like super solid. What have y'all thought about him? I think McCormick's been pretty good, reliable in pass pro. Honestly, a little bit better in pass pro than I would have anticipated. Granted, he's been getting a lot of reps up against backups, but he's definitely held his own. I think the one thing with him, man, is like we got to do something about these penalties, bro. He had 8 penalties last year, 2 in the preseason. He had a couple when I was there in Latrobe for training camp. So that's stuff that drives offensive line coaches crazy, man. So got to do something about the penalties. But I think definitely an encouraging start. And even a guy like Spencer Anderson, I thought Anderson was really solid through 2 weeks. I'd have to go back and really watch how he played this week. But he even slid out the right tackle last week. He's played both guard spots. He's played center. So, I mean, he's a depth guy that I think that I would like to have. Patterson's touchdown had him looking young. He was excited, man. He was excited. Dude, Patterson's ran that play. It's just mid zone to the weak side. Like he's ran that play in Smith's offense for the last 3 years. It's probably, I mean, a third of his carries are probably on that exact same play. So he's used to it for sure. Tomlin held Wilson back. Yeah, I'm about to say, I don't remember seeing him. So Darnell, no catches for Darnell, I don't think. I don't even think he got targeted, but he was in there. He was blocking, doing his normal thing. It's funny because Darnell's had some really strong blocking reps as a pass protector this preseason. He's actually pretty solid, man. Appreciate that, Kalen. Thank you very much. Did Edwards get any touches? I mean, Champlin got touches. Of course, Patterson, Piron. I didn't see Ward. I don't remember Edwards getting a touch or not. I'm about to go look that up. See. So Ward got 1 touch for 3 yards. Edwards had 2 carries for 3 yards. Huh. Okay. So there you have it. Y'all beating the Falcons week 1. I don't know, man. It's gonna be a fun matchup. I'm excited about that though. It's gonna be a fun one. Falcons made some moves recently, right? Justin Simmons, Matthew Judon, all that stuff. I mean, they've added some more talent. I don't think Kirk has played in the preseason, has he? But I mean, it's gonna be a really nice matchup for sure. I mean, it's on the road. I expect Atlanta to be favored probably about like 3.5, if I had to guess, 2.5, 3.5, something like that. But I know there's gonna be a lot of Steelers fans there for sure. For sure. All right. Trice look really good. Been looking good, man. Just gotta stay on the field. Drew, 51. Got to, man. Got to. I think in 3rd and longs, I mean, obviously it comes with the caveat that you're stopping teams on 1st, 2nd down, being efficient, especially stopping the run. But if you can get teams into those 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, obvious passing down situations, that's when you need to put your best pass rushers on the field. Can they get him some more snaps? I think the thing that excites me the most, I don't want to kind of spoil my own content, but the thing that excites me the most about the defense is just all the different guys that they have in the front 7 that are capable of rushing the passer. I mean, they've got so many different options. They got dudes that can win one-on-one. They got dudes that are really good on stunts. I mean, obviously having Wyatt Highsmith, those guys are going to win their one-on-ones more often than not. But I just look at like the stunt and twist potential that they've got with, Benton as a crasher. They've got really effective loopers. Herbig got a sack as a looper last week. We saw, PQ over the course of his career, he's been a great stunt guy, whether as the looper or the crasher, really versatile. Roberts has always been an effective blitzer. So they've got tons of options. It's really up to them. Like there is no limit or shouldn't be a limit on the creativity that they can kind of pull off in the blitz game. So the front 7 has a chance to be really, really good, man. Really, really good. So Juan, Brandon Ayuk. I wish, man. Still holding out hope, I see. Did you want to see a little bit more rush? It was a short field. I thought we were going to see more than 1 drive. I didn't think we'd see 5 drives like we did last week. I don't think Tomlin wanted that either. He probably only got the 5th drive last week because they were struggling to move the ball so much. But yeah, I mean, I think I would have liked to have seen, an extra drive for him. I'd have liked to seen an extra drive or two from Justin, mainly just for entertainment. It's not necessarily like anything that's going to change the complexion of like how I feel about those guys, or I think the quote unquote like quarterback battle. I don't think it would have really changed anything there either, but at least from like how the Steelers would see it. Um, but yeah, all right. If y'all got any more questions, get them in right now. I'm not gonna stay too much longer. Uh, while you guys think of your questions, just some channel kind of updates. Okay. I recorded a video earlier today, actually. Hopefully nothing crazy happens in the next 48 hours, but I just did a defensive preview. So I previewed the 2024 Steelers defense, went position by position, gave you guys like what I'm excited about, some breakout players, some concerns that I have, my expectations for the group as it pertains to next season. That video is going to release Monday, so it'll be in your feeds here in about like less than 48 hours. Now, I'm recording that in advance for really just one reason. I'm going on vacation, and I'm very excited about that. So I'm taking my family to Disney World. So I will be off the grid for about a week, but I will be back. I'll come back next weekend. I'm not sure of like what the schedule will be like for me, like getting through the film from the preseason game and all that good stuff. But I would like to do a film room or two just before we get into the regular season. But like when I get back, it's going to be week 1 of the regular season, and I'm really excited about that. I'm excited to get into the season with you guys. We've had a fantastic offseason content. We've done a lot of really cool stuff. We have players on here, got PQ, Firemuth. I feel like we really I did more in-depth content than I've really ever done for free agency. So that was like a cool little twist for me. Obviously, we hit the draft really hard like we typically do, but we had a really good off season. I hope that I was able to, create enough somewhat interesting content. I know the summer's tough because, there's just not a lot to do. I try not to indulge in, the clickbait aspect of, content creation as it pertains to football. But hopefully, the content that I was able to give you guys was good enough to hold you over to the regular season. But now, I mean, as soon as I get back, we're going to be like full speed ahead. And I'm really excited on what we're going to be able to do. But the week off will definitely give me a good reset. It is a much needed thing as someone who, works 2 jobs and spends a lot of time working. I'm glad that I'm going to have like 6 days to kind of reset, refresh, and then kind of give you guys my all as we head into the regular season. I will tell you this right now. This is going to drive me insane. If they do something crazy, like for example, if they trade for Ayuk while I'm in Disney World, I'm gonna absolutely lose my mind. Mainly because I have like, I kid you not, I have like 50 clips of Ayuk of like film that I've already cut up, and I've been holding back on it because like I don't really, I didn't want to release it unless they actually did the trade for obvious reasons. Um, but I'm gonna be so mad if like something does happen while I'm in Disney World. I am gonna take my laptop, I think, just in case, but I'm not gonna take my mic or anything like that. So you guys will only see me if it's an emergency. But if it's an emergency and they do something really cool, I may jump on here. I'll let you guys know though for sure. Just make sure you have those notifications on. That's gonna be the big thing. I'll also try to, if I have time in advance or whatever, I'm sure I'll tweet it out on my Twitter account. I'm sure most of you guys probably already follow me on there. I've been trying to get better about you. I'm going to try to be better. I'm not gonna say I have been. I will try to be better about using the community like notes tab on YouTube to like post stuff, just to give you guys updates on like schedule stuff. I mean, I think the schedule for the regular season is going to be like pretty similar to what it's been. And also like kind of my vision for it is like, I would like to do like 2 videos a week. And then I would like to do a preview of the game, and I'd like to do a recap of the game. Now, the preview or the recap, like maybe one of those is a live stream. I don't know. And then we'll at least do 1 to 2 film rooms. If you guys haven't already, I know we've got 140 people in here. If y'all haven't already, I see we've got a lot of like channel members that are commenting in the comments. So you guys can see all like the emotes that they've got, the badges and stuff next to their names. if y'all haven't already, consider becoming a member to the channel because I'm going to be posting stuff over there too, like additional film rooms. So if that's, I know a lot of you guys like have your own thing. Like some of you guys love the live streams the most. Some of y'all like the long form videos that we do, like the analytical deep dives and stuff like that. Some of y'all love the film rooms, whatever it is. Consider becoming a member to the channel because there's going to be additional content. Nothing's changing for all of you guys that have, especially y'all that have been with me since the jump. Nothing's changing for the channel. Y'all are going to get the same amount of content. It's just I'm going to provide a little bit more for the people that really want a little bit more this coming season. So there's a couple different tiers. There's a lot of different perks that are available. So if that's your vibe, definitely check it out and at least give it a shot. I think it's definitely worth it. Like I said, I'm gonna go pretty hard this regular season and see where we can take these things, man. I mean, we're closing in on 8,000 subs. Really excited about that. So huge progress for the channel. Going to be doing some giveaways, at least one giveaway, I think, before the week 1 regular season starts. I don't know. Maybe we do a live stream or something like that to give away some stuff from channel sponsor Homage. So I'll get to these last couple. We will jump out of here. Regular season prediction. Ray, I would love to give it to you, but I'm going to write about it as soon as I get back from vacation. So just be on the lookout for that. I've already kind of got an idea in mind on like how I'm going to write the article, but that's some of the stuff I'm going to write about when I get back is like, I always do a, like, what does success look like for the Pittsburgh Steelers article? And that just basically is me laying out the expectations for like, what would a successful season look like? What needs to happen in order for me to view it as a success, or what I think they should view it as a success. That's one that I always like. And then I try, like, the week I get back from vacation, I try to write that. I try to write my season record predictions, give my reasons on, like, how I see the season playing out, offense, defense, all that stuff. And then my third one that I like to write is like a bold predictions article. And that's where I'm just like, at least like a half dozen like hot takes, bold takes that I you can't necessarily hold me to, but I try to nail at least like one or two bold takes like that a season. So those will be things that'll be coming on SteelersNow.com, and we can talk about those when I get back too. But I don't want to release it just yet. So and too, like, I also think we still got a little bit of a way to go, a week or two, in terms of determining the final roster. Still could be a trade on the horizon, so that could also change things a little bit. I appreciate you guys with the vacation wishes. I am very, very excited for sure. So thanks for being quick on the live stream. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy doing the live streams. I actually enjoy doing the live streams more than I do just like the traditional recaps. The recaps are always tough for me because I know that there is always a lot of interest in these types of like reactions immediately after games. I enjoy giving like my analysis on stuff, obviously, but it's tough for me. Like, without the all 22, like, there's only so many things that you can see from a broadcast angle, and there are just different times where I try to preface this too, like, whenever I say something, but like once I get to the tape, like, some of my opinions can change. And like sometimes if I do the recap, I may not have a chance to like update you guys on like those particular takes, especially if you don't follow me on Twitter where I'm like tweeting throughout the week. But I do enjoy doing the live streams. It just gives me a chance to like connect with everybody. I always like answer as many questions, making this feel like as much of a community as I possibly can, and being interactive and all that stuff. So DB, I got a question. Any interest in creating a Discord for members or for everyone? I've thought about it. You're not the first person to ask, man. It's just, I don't know. If you follow me on Twitter, hit me up on Twitter with your ideas. And if you guys are like channel members too, like, tweet at me on Twitter. I'll give you a follow back, especially if you're in the Hall of Fame tier. But I'm not, it's not that I don't want to do the Discord. I know people that have created Discords for like their communities and stuff, and it seems like it might be more work than I'm willing to take on. But like, I'm not against it at all, especially if it's something that you guys are interested in. We could definitely do it. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. So what would you say is this team's greatest strength this offseason, offense and defense? That's a good question. I mean, I think the run game has a chance to be the strength on offense. I think that the run game will be good. I think they got a talented running back duo. I think the offensive line is going to be stronger in the run game than it will be in pass protection. I just think it's going to take it's probably going to take a month or two for this offensive line to kind of gel, though. That's the only thing. Um, but I would say that the run game, and it needs to be the identity of this team. They need to be efficient, especially on early downs, especially as the roster is currently constructed with quarterback play, and I think some of the concerns that are well founded in terms of the perimeter playmakers. Excuse me. On defense, just the front seven in general. I think the front seven has a chance to be really, really special. Like potentially like one of the 2-3 best in the league. Like that's how good, that's how talented, that's how deep, how many impact players I think they got in the front seven. So I'm really excited about that. Make sure you go to Typhoon Lagoon. The wave pool is awesome. Yeah, man. I've been to Typhoon Lagoon several times. It is pretty cool. So I definitely am looking forward to that. We're doing mostly like Disney park stuff for like my daughter. It's gonna be my son's first time going. My daughter, she loves Disney, man. It's expensive, but it's definitely worth it, So, but yeah, Typhoon Lagoon's cool. I also went to that Universal Park. What is that? The new one they built like 5-6 years ago. I've been there too. It's really cool. So I definitely recommend that. This is a good question and a good way to kind of end the live stream. DB, is there a link to the page with your channel membership info? Yes, I'm dropping it in the comments right now. You guys can go follow that. That link should show you all the different tiers that are available, all the different perks that are associated with those tiers. Like I said, it's no pressure, but if you're interested in more content, you want, to kind of set yourself apart, have at it. I definitely appreciate your support, whether you're a subscriber, all the channel members. It's awesome seeing so many of you guys in the live stream. That's really cool. So, as always, I appreciate it. Like I said, got a video that will drop on Monday. It's basically just a Steelers defensive 2024 preview. I think it's about 25 minutes long. Just goes position by position, breakout players, all that good stuff. I think that you all will enjoy it. I wanted to give you guys something while I was off on vacation. But I'll be back. I'll be back next weekend. I'll start combing through the film, and then we'll get some content up. Before week one. I'm really excited about that. So I know you guys are excited. If you guys have any ideas on like content, like stuff you want to see from me, stuff y'all want to do, whether it's like live streams or, any type of out of the box ideas, I'm open to suggestions, to kind of give you guys what y'all want out of the channel. Sean, appreciate you for becoming a member, man. That was a quick trigger, but I definitely appreciate it. As always, I hope you guys have a good rest of your week or your weekend, and then enjoy your week next week. Like I said, video drops on Monday, but I will see you guys next week. Peace and love.